right. So again, for those who just came in, feel free to turn on your camera if you're comfortable, so we can just have this connection when it comes to sharing the things that we are teaching you. And see, there's more. All right, so it's 12:06, and I guess we have to start on time. So again, let me just introduce myself. My name is Nicole Fernandez, and I am the co-founder of Link Media, and my partners are here, Jaco from I'm Third Media and Gio Fernandez, which is my husband. And we are here to help you guys build your freelancing career, whether it's if you're starting as a virtual assistant, whether you wanted to learn about video editing, about social media, about real estate, anything that we know, we would be very happy to share all of it to you, because our goal is to help freelancers earn up to 100,000 per month. And believe it or not, uh, that is very possible, and that's also one of the things that we also want to impart to all of you, because sometimes we just did not have the resources so we can achieve that goal. But let me just give you a disclaimer that it's not going to be easy. But through these kind of workshops that we do, this is one way that you can upskill, that you'll be exposed to what's really going on in the market. And yeah, in no time, you'll just be amazed that you've reached that goal. So before we officially start, I just want to give you a heads up or tell you guys that if you have other friends that are interested in learning about freelancing or that could benefit these kind of sessions, then feel free to share it. And that's the only thing that you can also give back to us, since this is for free. You don't have to pay anything, and you just need to make time and even refer it to your friends or family. So um just so I have an idea about our audience today. Can you type on the chat if you are already working with the client, and you can, if you're not, then you can just type NA or not applicable. And if you are working with a client, can you type what's the niche of that client and what's the service that you are offering them. So it goes like this. So for me, I'm let me just say I'm a little bit of everything. I do almost everything for my client, but just to be specific, as an example, I am a social media manager and I help real estate clients. So if you are a VA or a general virtual assistant and you work for a maybe a coach, and yeah, feel free to type it. Working as a VA for real estate clients. Yeah. Sorry, there's like an advertisement for a while.
Charlotte, where is your client located?
My client's located in Fresno, California.
Oh, right on. What brokerage?
What I do on my end is I handle mostly admins from the coaching program. There's other people who's tasked to do like the real estate, like the cold calling and all.
Oh, got it. Cool.
I help with mostly some coaching students.
Okay, right on. All right, we're gonna get everybody some work real fast here, because we got a lot of not applicable, and that is not acceptable, right? It's like Nicole said, our mission, our vision is to help 10,000 freelancers be able to earn as much as 100,000 pesos a month, right? And I was given this vision when I was visiting Philippines last November, and I met my team for the first time, and I just kind of felt like, hey, like what is stopping you guys from reaching the ultimate financial freedom, right? Because the amount of intelligence and amount of hard work that you guys all put in, it's no different than anybody that lives in the US. It's no different than anybody that lives in Europe or Africa. Like we all have two eyes, one brain, one nose. I don't know. Does anybody have 3 ears? But for the most part, we're all same human being around the world. The only difference is that some people were born into certain situations in certain geographical location, and that is literally the only difference. However, the technology has gotten us to a point where the world is getting flatter and flatter and flatter and flatter, right? So I wanted to make a difference with Nicole and Gio. Basically, if there are things that we can teach you that's going to help you better leverage your skill set so that you can earn more, you should do that, right? I don't know if you guys know, most places like Charlotte and Fresno, California, I believe minimum wage is $17 an hour. And I'm talking about these are people that go work at McDonald's. Give me a 1 in the chat if you would love to earn $17 an hour. That's right. Come on, bring it. Right. Who doesn't want to earn $17 an hour? Right. We're here to tell you that you can do this. Okay. But like Nicole mentioned, it's not easy. It's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of building of skill sets, but it can be done. Right. You know how I know? Because I know some people in this room right now that gets paid very close to that. You know how I know? Because I pay it, right? I talk to other people that say, hey, if I can get help that is going to help me grow my business, they have no problem paying that. That's a fact, you guys, right? So what we have to do is we have to elevate our skill set. We have to elevate our knowledge so that we can become valuable, right? And the first thing you can do to start this journey is turn your cameras on right now. Back to you, Nicole.
Thanks, Jay. I'm so sorry for the interruption. So yeah, thank you for that. Let me just, because there's still more in the admin room. All right. So as we mentioned in our post about this workshop, we will be talking about social media content planning. So I've been I started as a virtual assistant back in 2020. And from working with different types of clients, one thing that I realized that's gonna be very valuable skill that you're gonna have if you're a freelancer. It's if you know how to use social media. Personally, I I could say there's still a lot of room for improvement when it comes to like my skill in social media, but I know how to do everything. So every time I get a client, I work with a client, I pretty much know what to do. And way back there, there's no chat GPT, there's no AI, there's no DeepSeek. And but I was able to thrive in that industry. It's because I got all different resources like YouTube and even learn from my clients. And yeah, and the good thing about our time right now is we have AI. So what are we going to do with it? Are we going to be afraid about it, that it's going to replace our job, or are we going to make the most out of it? So that's the thing that I'm going to teach you today. And for some that has been doing social media, this may be basic, but I made it as simple as possible so everyone can apply it on their own clients or as they acquire their client or as they learn more about um, social media. So with that, I have a question here. Why do we? You can comment on the. You can type on the chat. Like, why do you think social media is very important? Or why do you think people invest in posting in social media? I mean, they invest their time, their energy, producing content. Why do you think that's important? Can you feel free to type it on the chat?
You can unmute your mic and just speak.
Yeah. Yeah. So from Jack, more exposure, more awareness, more sales. That's correct. For marketing the business online, to grow their business if they are in the business industry, to get more market. What else? Social media connects us easily to what we want to introduce. Is there more? People now have more time in social media. These are all great stuff. Anything else? To become visible. Business growth, marketing, information. It reaches anyone, any kind of social status and language. All right. Organic marketing. All right. Thank you so much for all your answers. So, Jay, since you've been working with a lot of clients also, like what how do you define social media? Why is it important? And what's yeah, anything you want to share about it?
Uh, it it's not just social media.
Hmm.
It's any media. It if you break down whatever it is that you do, it literally just boils down to one thing. As freelancers or any type of like marketing agency, we're all familiar with marketing agency, right? Right there, that's such a convoluted term. There are so many quote unquote marketing agencies that say things but they don't actually deliver. But at the end of the day, freelancers, marketing agency, it doesn't really matter. When it comes anything marketing, all you're doing is basically just three things. Step one, you're helping your clients build a brand. Type one, give me a one in the chat if you agree. You're helping your clients build a brand, right? And what exactly a brand is, that's like a conversation for a whole nother workshop, right? But you're helping your clients build a brand. And then step two, you're driving traffic to that brand, right? Give me a nod if you agree. So you help them build a brand, and then you drive traffic to the brand, meaning you're helping it be seen, right? You want other people to see this brand. And then finally, you're helping build a community around that brand. So if anybody ever asks you, hey, what do you do, right? Especially if you call yourself, what is it? The social media manager? Is it SMMA, right? If you call yourself anything like, oh, I do social media, you have to understand, you're not doing social media. What you're doing is you're helping your clients build a brand, and then you're driving traffic to that brand, and then you're helping your client build a community around that brand. Because ultimately, right, there's nobody that you're going to work with that's going to say, oh, I'm paying you to do my social media because I don't want more business, right? Because at the end of the day, everybody's doing this because they want more business. But in order for more business to happen, right, people have to buy more stuff. But in order for people to buy stuff, you have to build that community so that they build trust, so that your clients are going to be able to build authority so that they can actually sell something. So build a brand, drive traffic to the brand, and then build a community around the brand, right? So question, and here's my biggest pet peeve. These so-called social media managers, they know zilch about building a brand. They don't even know what their client's brand is, right? And you just think all you have to do is go to ChatGPT and say, hey, I have a customer who is in real estate. I need to create 10 social media posts, right? What do you got? You can't do that. True story. I tried to hire somebody, right? And she was like, yeah, I can do 3 posts a week and 3 reels a week. So I was just like, okay, what do we do? What do you need to know from me, right? Oh, nothing. Really? How are you going to do that without knowing anything about me? How will you help me build a brand without knowing anything about what my brand is? Right? You have to be able to ask the question that is going to be able to help you do your job better. Right? So you're always thinking, how do I help my clients build a better brand? Right? A brand is something that is like, there is no finite to building a brand. Like, there's no such thing as, oh, I'm done building a brand. Right? You guys all know Nike? Can Nike ever say we're done building our brand? No. Right? They keep doing it. Because building a brand is not a finite thing. You keep on doing it. Because your brand is what's going to make you different. Right? Charlotte, did you know there's 1.5 million real estate agents in the United States? It's crazy. So how will your client be different from 1.5 million other real estate agents or home services business or coaches, right? Fitness coaches, right? Lifestyle coaches. How can you help your clients be different? Build that brand. It's that additional layer of thinking that you have to do. And then once you feel like, okay, like I get the brand now, then it's like, how do I get more people to see it? If you think just posting something on Facebook, like, and it's it, like you're gonna fail. Because unless you're working with a client that has, tens of thousands of followers already, your content is not gonna get engagement. So you have to be thinking, how can I create the engagement that helps my clients build their brand? I mean, let's be real. For anyone that is currently in or has done some type of social media, work, how long would you spend on a single piece of content? 20 minutes? 30 minutes? An hour? 2 hours? Do you actually sit there and think about, is this content actually going to get the engagement? Or are you thinking, oh, my job is just to post it, so I'm just going to post it, right? I'm going to copy and paste what ChatGPT says. Because most people, like even you guys, I'm sure, when a post was generated by AI. It's so obvious. Right? So instead of thinking that the AI is going to do the work for you, what you want to do is you want to leverage the AI so that it can help you with a lot of different ideas. It'll help you be able to come up with more ideas faster and better, but then it still requires human thought process to go through the process of, is this actually going to engage? So I don't know, I don't know where everybody is in their journey in terms of like how to create the content, but you always want to take a step back and put yourself in the shoes of your client's customers, right? So Charlotte helps with like real estate coaching, right? So if you were to post something, you need to put yourself in the position of other real estate agents who may potentially want your client services. And then you go, "Ooh, can I relate to that?" Right? Whoever your client is, how much do you understand about their business? How much do you understand about their customers? How much time do you invest learning about that industry? Back to you, Nicole.
Thanks for that, Jay. So, to show you the basic process that you can try and do like as an exercise, here is DeepSeek. So, who among you here heard about DeepSeek? You can type one in the chat if you've used this before, and two if you've used a different AI. Nice. Many of you have tried it. Awesome. All right. So for everyone's information, DeepSeek is a free tool. So you can feel free to sign up. And since you will be having an exercise after this session, and you will have to submit that to our Facebook group, which you have to also be part of it. Yeah. So as we start, we need to understand going back to social media. So who among you here heard about social media manager? Type one. And who among you here heard about social media marketer? I mean, type two if you heard about um, social media marketer. Okay. So as we start, we have to understand the difference of these two because these two are completely different. So earlier I did a search and this is what I discovered. So based on DeepSeek, social media manager, these are their responsibilities, and it's mostly on building brand loyalty and community and maintaining a positive online reputation. And while social media marketer is mostly focused on increasing revenue or leads or maximizing return on ad spend. So we're not going into the social media marketer side because I it can be very technical, though the other hand is also technical. But these we are focusing more on the basic on what we can do at the moment since we're all assuming I'm assuming we're all aspiring freelancers. So I hope you understand the difference of social media manager and social media marketer. So as we start, um, going back to what she mentioned earlier, so let's assume um, we're working with a real estate agent. That's our client, and we want to help them what? So the first thing that was Jane mentioned earlier, um, if you want to help your client with social media and marketing their business or growing their business, first you have to build their brand, drive traffic to their brand, and build a community about their brand. So we can use that as our help statement, just so DeepSeek has an idea on what we do or what we want to achieve as we build the social media of our client. So, hi, I am a social media manager and I help real estate agent. Let me see. Let me just copy and paste it. They grow their business, save time, and help their community. Can you let we can produce to achieve this goal? So we're starting with like basic questions. Let's see what results we have. So here, so while waiting for the result, there are two options here. One would be the deep think, and another one would be the search. So when you turn on both of these, if you turn on the search, it will source out information from the web. And if you turn on deep think, then this is still a programming in DeepSeek that will provide you with more details. So for this one, we're trying both. And let's see what we have here. And Jay, feel free to chime in if you have any suggestions or comments. Okay, certainly. Let's create a list, downloading content, personal brand, educational content, social proof, traffic driving content, topic focus, interactive content, SEO, creation community building.
Okay, so you'll notice that the answer that we're getting right now is much longer than like your typical like ChatGPT response. And that is because we are using the DeepThink model. So basically what that is it's actually, I don't know if you guys saw, like when it was thinking, the AI is like asking itself different logical questions, and it's actually going into more in depth series of like asking, like it's asking itself a question so that they can give us a more detailed answer, right? So you don't necessarily have to use the R1 model right off the bat. You can just start with the regular model, and then when you need to kind of go into something deeper, right, you can click on that. Now again, I mentioned in the chat, this is equivalent to a $200 a month ChatGPT plan, right? I have it. I compared both, and this is just as good as the one that I paid $200 for. And right now it's free. I would highly encourage everybody to take advantage of it. And also the other thing, one thing about like using AI, you gotta treat it like a. This is gonna sound weird. You gotta treat it like it's your assistant, like an actual person, right? And so what you want to do is you want to give as much details as possible. You want to give idea of like what you want the output to be, like in what format. You also want to tell it to watch out for certain things, or give instructions on like, hey, do this but don't do this, right? The more you spend in terms of doing the input, the better output you're going to get.
Perfect. Thanks, Jay. So here we have several topics that we can suggest. For example, we're already working with a client, and these are several topics that we can suggest to them. But the thing is, um, that this is where the part we're in, we need to know who our client is. So it would be our role to understand like what's their strength, or what, for example, if you're working with a real estate agent, are they going to focus on one area or neighborhood? So that could also be a good start. And let's see what we can come up with. So brand building content, show your listing, So there are different categories here: brand building content, traffic driving content, reels of new listings. That's nice. Community building. So this is what I mentioned earlier. We can also focus on their neighborhood. So it's like if I'm from Davao City and I wanted to focus on a specific neighborhood because Davao City is pretty big, right? But if you wanted to focus on like a certain neighborhood, then that's something that we can also work on. So I'm in Catalunan Grande, so I'm going to feature like subdivisions here. Are there malls? Are there restaurants, schools? Those are the things that you can um do for the neighborhood. So that's gonna be focused on community building content, time saving tips for agents, top five apps for automating real estate, how I batch create social media content, video tutorial on using Canva templates for listing. I don't think this is kind of relevant to them. If we're going to create content on behalf of them, value added content for the community. Mm, I let agents volunteer work to make your home energy efficient. Yeah, can also use this trending and seasonal content. Let me just list down some of these. Let's just pick at least maybe three. Trending and seasonal content. Can add this. Thank you for these great ideas.
You guys ever thank your AIs? You should. It appreciates it.
And
That's what I'm
we
talking about, Romeo.
focus on these topics because I think these resonate more to my real estate agent. Mm, we can create from the, let's see. Okay. All right. Have a has an action. I'll turn that.
Who remembers what life was like before AI, where you actually had to do the thinking? That was tough. That was tough.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about AI technology. The more the better you become at using the AI, the more valuable you are going to become, right? For you guys specifically, freelancers in the land of Philippines, I'm telling you, AI technology more than ever, it's evening out the playing field, because the person that's getting paid $25 to work at an office in the US, they're using the same technology that you are using over there. So I ask you, what makes this person worth $25, $30 an hour, but you're only getting paid $4, $5, $6 an hour, right? That doesn't make sense. Would you agree? But if you want to get to that point where you can demand that type of respect and that type of pay, you have to get to a point where your clients are going to trust that you're going to deliver just as much result, right? If you can replace somebody that somebody here is paying $30 an hour, you can easily say, hey, I'm worth 15. And from the business owner standpoint, wait a minute, I just cut my cost in half. Does that make sense? The mindset of business owners and professionals here is that VAs are cheap. They don't look for VAs because they're good at what they do. They look for VAs because they're cheap. We need to change that paradigm, right? And in order for us to do that, you have to continue to get better. You have to be able to demonstrate, right, that you understand what their pain points are, right? You can't be an order taker. You have to become the advisor. So if your client comes to you and says, okay, like I need social media manager and I need somebody to post, 5 times a week, 2 times a day, right? Then your answer to that is not yes, sir, or yes, ma'am, right? Your answer should be, hey, why not 3 times a day? Why not 4 times a day? What kind of content are we posting, right? I know culturally speaking, right, you don't really question your, boss or your employer, but you know what? The fact that you can think for yourself and actually be advisors to your clients, they will appreciate that. That will earn you so much more respect. Nicole, I'm just talking while you're doing the thing, so
Yeah, sure. So now we have all of these details. So if you can observe, I asked from all of those topics that was provided, I just tried to choose at least 4 or 3 like main pillars or topics that we can focus on if we are going to build a content for our client. Since there are some of those that does not really apply to a real estate agent, for example. Let me see. Um, I think I just added everything. Oh, for the time saving tips for agents, since I'm assuming that my agent is not a coach, so this might be something that's not going to be relevant to him because the audience of the real estate agent that we're going to help would be uh, buyers and sellers of properties or listings. So that's the reason why we came up with the 4 topics, and then these are the in-depth details to that. So since we're building their brand, maybe we can start with this topic: why they chose real estate over a corporate life, if that applies to them, or maybe we can tweak it. We have agents that are that that is that correct, Jay? Veterans, just like or I'm not sure about the specific term for that, but we have agents that are in the army before, just like Ryan. So why he chose to be a real estate, or I chose real estate over being in the army, those kind of stuff. So you can definitely tweak this depending on who your client is. Um, that's one. See why I turned down a listing that didn't align with my ethics. If this is like a situation that your client encountered, then definitely this is something that they can produce. So again, AI is here to just give you ideas, assist you on what you can do or the content that you can produce, but it's still in our discretion on which ones are we going to suggest to our clients. Because again, the first step is to understand who our client is, what are their background and stuff. And let's see what else do we have. So now that we have all of these information, we want to organize it into a plan. So, oh my, the server is busy. Let's see.
So one of the downside, right? DeepSeek is amazing and it's free, but because it's free, there are a lot of people using it. So you might have to kind of, get around, what time of the day you're using. But also you want to be well versed in a lot of other tools, right? So there's ChatGPT, the free version. I don't know if Gemini has a free version, but there's also tools like Perplexity, which has a free version. You want to be able to take advantage of as much of these free tools as you possibly can. Okay. There was a lot of NAs in the beginning when Nicole asked if you're actively working. Okay. Let me ask you this. For those of you that are not currently working, are you looking for clients actively? Give me a 1 in the chat if you're actively looking for work, like you're looking for clients. You're doing the outreach. Okay, great. Why do you think you are not getting the client? You can unmute your mic. You can type it in the chat because I will help you answer that question, right? Because at the end of the day, the skills are good, but no matter how much skills you develop, if you can't find clients to work for, it doesn't do you any good, right? So what is the biggest challenge you're having with finding clients? Guys, you're talking to $185 an hour CEO of a marketing agency based in Seattle, Washington. If you have questions, this is as good as it's ever going to get in terms of, having somebody from here to answer that. Okay, Jack, how I sell myself properly. Okay. My work experience is one of the hindrance why I'm not getting any clients. Okay. Too many competitors, not sticking in one. Okay, these are all good. Okay, so first of all, is it Chiny? I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right. First of all, let's not say stuff like, hi, Sir Jay, because nobody in the US says that. Okay? So you can leave the sir out. Just say, hi, Jay. Right? One of the key things is to, as much as possible, sound like somebody that lives and works here, right? So what you want to do is, if you want to send out messages to people, like a cold outreach, right? Don't type, hi, sir, Jessica, or hi, ma'am. Just don't do that. Whatever you are going to type, maybe run it through ChatGPT and then say, hey, can you make sure this sounds like I live in Seattle, Washington, right? And it'll give it to you. It'll give it to you. And then send that, right? So let's start right there, okay? So I'm gonna attack this like rapid fire, one at a time, okay? And Nicole, maybe we need to like grab a snapshot of this so like we can help answer, right? Okay, how do I sell myself properly? Okay, how do you sell yourself properly? Be truthful. Be honest, okay? If you have no experience, say so. How do you gain experience? By offering free work, okay? So whatever your niche is, right? Someone actually mentioned here, somebody mentioned not sticking to one niche. Okay, Rizzo, man, I'm so sorry. I'm butchering you guys' name, but I promise I'll get better. Not sticking in one niche, absolutely. So pick a niche. Is it real estate? Is it coaching? Is it health and fitness? Because if you just become master of one, then you're gonna get so good in that field, right? That then you're gonna start to eliminate some of these competitors, right? So Jano says too many competitors. That's because you're not niching down, right? So what you want to do is you can reach out to somebody and say, "Hey, I noticed that you're not very consistent on your Instagram," right? Not don't say active, consistent, right? And how do you know they're not consistent? Because you went on their profile or Facebook, right? You saw that they only post maybe once a week or twice a week, right? Then you offer and say, "Hey, I am a freelancer. I specialize in blah 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 industry, right? And I'm just getting started, and I would love to offer you free 2 weeks of my services where I'm going to post, twice a day, 3 times a week. Like, come up with a plan and offer it for free. And the only thing I ask of you in return, if I do a good job, that you leave me a good review, right? They can write you an email, they can make a video for you, or so, maybe if you do a good job, they'll hire you, right? And you need to be doing this at least 10 to 15 times a day. Give me a one in the chat if you're doing 10 to 15 outreaches every day. Yeah, that's right. Not many people, right? You can't say, "I'm struggling to find work," when you're not doing 10 to 15 outreaches per day. So when you DM people, when you email people, just make sure you sound like you're from Seattle, right? Not from Lucena, not from Davao. Trust me, I love those cities, but from a business owner standpoint, I don't really want to deal with that. As soon as somebody says, "Hi, sir, madam," we relate that to like a scam email, because that's exactly how they start the scam email. "Dear sir or madam," right? So we can skip that. Let's start sounding like you've been living in Seattle, Washington for the last 25 years. You know what I mean? And again, you can do that because we have free technology that will allow for you to do that. Okay? Um dang. Unfortunately, we're like coming up against time. So I'll throw it back to you, Nicole.
Yeah. So since we're only left with 6 minutes, I think we can stop here since the main goal of this session is to be able to come up with a 30-day content plan. So with the process that we did, since DeepSeek is still busy, the survey is still busy, so I tried to switch to ChatGPT. And what I did is I just copied all of the information here, and then I just fed it with the information that we just did earlier. And this is what I came up. So now we have week 1, week 2, 3, and 4. So if you can observe for each day, there is a reel. So there are different like content form, like if it's a carousel, an Instagram story, or a reel, and then the details would be here. And we will go into details and how you can transform this one day content into a content and this type of content into a content that you can actually post for your client. But since we're running out of time, we will have to continue it on our next session. But I will leave you with an assignment, and a goal for that assignment or exercise is to try to replicate the process that I did from the beginning when you introduce yourself, what's your goal for your client, what is the type of client that you have, and then I will also share to you the recording for this so you can watch it while you also apply it on your own. Is that something that y'all can do? and make sure that you are part of our Facebook group, because we will also post their updates and even this recording.
Hey,
We
real quick, I want to address two messages that are in the chat. So Romeo
Mhm.
says there's a service in Fiverr that offers outreaches. I personally would not recommend that. Okay, outreaching to your potential client is the very foundation of you building your business. Don't get lazy. If you're too lazy that you have to pay other people to do your like very initial outreach, you probably should not be in this business. I'm just going to tell you straight up, right? In the beginning, you put in the work and you learn how to do the things that requires you to build your business. And then when you get to a certain level, then you start to hire people to help with that. Okay? So Romeo, I appreciate the tip. However, if you're just starting out, I don't recommend that at all. Okay? Because honestly, you're not busy. You're not making that much money. You got nothing but time, brothers and sisters. You got nothing but time. You got time, you got sweat, you got brain. Let's use all of them. Right? All right, Jeff. I'm so sorry, man. That's so bad. I don't know why they're ghosting you. What I would do is just follow up professionally and diligently, and I would say maybe follow up for another, week or two, maybe once or twice a week. And if they just continue to ghost, then you know what, let it go. Sometimes that happens. You just come across with, with just not good people that doesn't respect you, right? So, you know, you want to look back and say, is this something that I did, right? You want to have that time of reflection, okay? And then once you determine that it wasn't really you, then you know what? Couple of follow-ups and then move on. I'm so sorry you got to go through this, but unfortunately, it happens. And part of the reason this happens is the risk that the business owners take by hiring you guys at $2, $3, $4 an hour. The risk is not that great. So they think that you're easily replaceable, right? So that's why I'm saying, got to put in the hustle, got to put in the work so that you can just continue to, get yourself to that higher tier, right? You could be, I think if you're asking 15, 16, $17 an hour as a freelancer, you're like at the top tier, wouldn't you say? Right? That's pretty up there. So you got to continue to just, make your way up there, right? But don't be discouraged. Hustle, hard work is the only thing that's going to get you there, right? So I'm going to leave you with this. If you want, take a look at my company and see how you can help my company with our social media and pitch me, and I will give you feedback. All right?
Yeah, I think that would be a good start. So we'll add that detail to, I also do that. Yes, definitely. So we'll add that detail on the exercise that you will be doing, and I will post the information on our Facebook group. So please make sure that you are in there so you can see any updates. Okay. Any other questions
And
regarding
by
our
the way,
session for today?
if,
Yeah.
if you want to learn about certain specific things, like email us, send us a DM, right? Like I've been doing this for a long time, and just we're here to help you be able to get to 100,000 a month.
Thanks, Jay. So before we end the session, can you take a picture? Yeah. Can you turn on your
We need a couple more
camera,
people to
guys?
turn on the camera so it
Yeah.
looks like we have people.
Let me lay out this one. Out.
And guys, this might
Wow.
sound too good to be true, and maybe some of you are not going to believe us, Like, we are literally here to help you. We're not charging anything for this, right? It is 9 o'clock Monday night in Seattle, right? I just had a full day of work. I'm here. Nicole's here. Gio's here. We have another session after this for video editors. Like, don't ask. We just want to serve because we've been served. So, spread the word, help us grow the community. Like, what we're doing here is no different. We're trying to build a brand as an organization that wants to help Filipino freelancers grow, right? Get better, achieve that 100,000 pesos a month, right? And we're trying to drive traffic to our brand. So you guys can help us drive that traffic. And we're trying to build a community. See what I did there, right? The exact same thing I told you in the beginning. It applies to every walk of life. So,
All right. Is there anyone who wants to turn on their camera? If we still got more that was turned
just a
off.
couple more. Just a couple more. Come
Yeah,
on.
this will just be 3 seconds. You can just turn it on. All right,
Let's
ready?
go.
Okay, so everyone's typing. Okay, let me just. All right, ready? Ready in 3, 2, 1, smile. All right, I got it. Once again, thank you everyone,
Appreciate you
and
guys. See you guys in two
don't
weeks.
forget to join our group.